A long time ago in Israel, there lived a young man named Mephibosheth. He was the son of Jonathan, who was King David's best friend, and the grandson of King Saul, the first king of Israel. This made Mephibosheth part of a very important and influential family. King Saul led Israel with courage, protecting the people and facing many challenges. Saul's household was a place of great power, where important decisions were made for the good of the kingdom. Growing up in this environment, Mephibosheth learned early about leadership, bravery, and responsibility. From a young age, Mephibosheth heard stories of the battles and adventures of his father Jonathan. Jonathan was known for his courage and his loyalty to King David. He fought bravely alongside Saul, defending the kingdom against enemies. This dedication and love for his family inspired Mephibosheth to be a just and loyal person. At the same time, David, who would later become king, was also Jonathan's friend. When David was still a young shepherd, he earned Saul's trust and became a respected leader. Mephibosheth, growing up in Saul's court, had the opportunity to know David from an early age. Mephibosheth and David became very close friends. They spent much time together, talking about their dreams and plans for Israel's future. Afternoons were filled with laughter, stories, and even some play in the royal garden. This friendship was special, based on mutual trust and respect. David was a gentle and wise leader, and his friendship with Mephibosheth taught the young man the importance of humility and justice. Mephibosheth admired David not only for his courage but also for his kind heart and dedication to the people. These lessons prepared Mephibosheth for the challenges that would come later in his life. Additionally, the friendship with David meant that Mephibosheth had a friend he could trust in difficult times. In an era of uncertainties and changes in Israel's leadership, having someone like David by his side was a great blessing. This strong and sincere relationship would be fundamental for Mephibosheth's future, helping him face adversities with courage and faith. This is the story of Mephibosheth's origin and family, as well as his friendship with David. Even though he was part of a royal family, Mephibosheth learned important values such as loyalty, courage, and justice from the people around him, especially through his friendship with David. These bonds would strengthen Mephibosheth in times of great challenge, showing how family and true friendship can shape a person's character and destiny. If you feel motivated and inspired by this content, check if you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss more videos like this. We will bring a series of content with biblical teachings and inspiring stories that motivate us to continue and not give up. Let's continue with the story. It was a time of great conflicts and battles in the land of Israel. Tensions between the Israelites and the Philistines were constant, and battles were frequent. During this time, King Saul, a brave and determined leader, faced the Philistines to protect his people and maintain the kingdom's unity. Mephibosheth, although still very young, already knew of his grandfather Saul's bravery and his father Jonathan's loyalty, who was a renowned warrior and David's best friend. Jonathan always inspired respect and admiration in Mephibosheth, teaching him about courage and honor. On a fateful day, during one of the many battles against the Philistines, King Saul's luck changed drastically. The battle was intense, and Israel's forces fought bravely, but the Philistines were numerous and well-equipped. In the heat of the fight, Saul made a desperate decision. To avoid being captured by the enemies, he severely wounded himself with his own sword. In that moment of despair, Jonathan, Saul's valiant son, fought alongside his father, demonstrating unparalleled bravery. Unfortunately, the battle did not end well for Saul and Jonathan. Both lost their lives on that battlefield, leaving a huge void in Israel's royal family. The news of Saul and Jonathan's death quickly reached Mephibosheth, who was only 5 years old at the time. The loss of his parents and grandfather was a devastating blow, turning him from a beloved and protected boy into a vulnerable orphan. In addition to the tragic loss of his parents, Mephibosheth's life faced another great adversity. When he was only 5 years old, Mephibosheth suffered an accident that left his legs crippled. This incident happened shortly before Saul and Jonathan's death, adding even more suffering to the young family. Mephibosheth, even being so young, already carried the physical and emotional scars of the battles his family faced. His crippled legs made every step a struggle, and the physical pain was a constant reminder of the losses he had endured. Mephibosheth's childhood was marked by challenges that few his age should face, but he showed impressive resilience in the face of adversity. With Saul and Jonathan's death, Mephibosheth was taken care of by a faithful servant, who took him to Luzah, a distant city, to protect him from possible revenge by Saul's descendants. This exile not only separated Mephibosheth from his homeland, but also distanced him from the royal court where he had grown up and formed friendships with David. In the new city, Mephibosheth lived in relative safety, but the absence of his parents and the pain of his physical condition weighed on his heart. He spent his days reflecting on the stories his father and grandfather told him, keeping his family's memory alive through the lessons of courage, loyalty, and faith he had been taught. The loss of Saul and Jonathan, along with his own physical disability, deeply shaped Mephibosheth's life. Although young, he already understood the weight of responsibility and the importance of resilience. These experiences prepared him for future challenges and strengthened his character, making him a figure of faith and perseverance in Israel's history. The tragedy in Saul's family not only brought pain and loss to Mephibosheth, but also set the stage for events to come, where David's mercy and loyalty would play a crucial role in Mephibosheth's life. This story is a testament to the power of friendship and divine grace in times of adversity. After the tragic battle that took King Saul and his brave son Jonathan's lives, the kingdom of Israel plunged into a period of uncertainty and fear. With Saul's death, many feared that the descendants of the royal family would face revenge from enemies and rivals who wanted to seize the throne. In this turbulent scenario, Mephibosheth's life, still so young and vulnerable, was in grave danger. Mephibosheth, even with his crippled legs from childhood, was seen as a legitimate heir of Saul's lineage. This made him a potential target for those who wanted to eliminate any threat to their own rise to power. Mephibosheth's safety depended on keeping his existence a secret and protecting him from any reprisals. It was then that a faithful servant of Saul, moved by loyalty and love for the royal family, made the crucial decision to save Mephibosheth. This servant, aware of the danger surrounding Saul's family, knew that the young man's future depended on a quick and discreet escape. With a heavy heart, he organized the journey to Luzah, a distant and relatively safe city, where Mephibosheth could live in relative anonymity, away from immediate threats. The journey to Luzah was not easy. The roads of the time were treacherous and dangerous, especially for someone already facing physical difficulties. Mephibosheth, even debilitated, showed an impressive strength of spirit. His gaze, despite the pain, reflected a mix of fear and hope. Accompanied by the loyal servant, he faced each step with courage, knowing that his life was changing forever. During the journey, the servant told stories of courage and faith to comfort Mephibosheth, reminding him of the lessons his father Jonathan and his grandfather Saul had taught him. These stories not only distracted the young man from the hardships of the road, but also reinforced the importance of resilience and hope in times of adversity. Arriving in Luzah, safety seemed finally within reach. The city, located in a less contested region, offered a temporary refuge where Mephibosheth could recover physically and emotionally. The servant found a local family willing to welcome the young prince, ensuring that he was treated with the respect and dignity his royal lineage deserved, even in exile. In Luzah, Mephibosheth's life took on a different rhythm. Far from the royal court and the battles that marked his childhood, he found moments of peace and learning. Despite the distance from his homeland, Mephibosheth kept his family's spirit alive through the stories and teachings he received. Living with the new family and the Luzah community helped him develop a new perspective on life, strengthening his faith and preparing him for future challenges. The exile in Luzah, although forced and painful, became a period of personal growth for Mephibosheth. He learned to value the small joys of daily life and the importance of maintaining hope even in the most difficult circumstances. The experience shaped him, preparing him for the moments of mercy and restoration that would follow in his life. The escape to Luzah was a crucial turning point in Mephibosheth's life. Separated from his homeland and the royal court, he faced the reality of exile and vulnerability. However, this experience also strengthened his character, teaching him the importance of humility, resilience, and unwavering faith. Despite the difficulties, Mephibosheth never forgot his roots and his friendship with David, which would later play a fundamental role in his life. The protection offered by the faithful servant and the new family in Luzah allowed Mephibosheth to survive in a time of great uncertainty, preserving his legacy and preparing him for the restoration to come. Mephibosheth's exile story is a testament to how faith and loyalty can prevail even in the most adverse circumstances. It reminds us that even when everything seems lost, hope and divine grace can open unexpected paths to redemption and renewal. Do you feel any resemblance between the moment you live and the story told? Do you feel you are living something similar? Tell us how you feel. If you need a prayer or help, share a story of overcoming to inspire us and give us strength not to give up. Comment if you want to help someone or need help. After consolidating his kingdom and ensuring peace in Israel, King David reflected on the promises of friendship and loyalty he had shared with Jonathan, his dear friend and battle companion. Jonathan had heroically fallen alongside his father, King Saul, leaving behind a lineage that now faced uncertainties and dangers. Driven by the desire to honor Jonathan's memory and show mercy to his family, David made a decision of great importance. He ordered his most trusted servant, Barmim, to seek out descendants of Jonathan to demonstrate the kindness and fidelity that characterized his own reign. David's intention was clear: to repay the friendship and loyalty that Jonathan had shown him, even in the darkest hours. "Barmim, my faithful servant," David ordered firmly, "bring me someone from Jonathan's house so we can honor his memory as he honored mine. Let us show the people of Israel that mercy and justice are the foundations of this kingdom." Barmim, determined to fulfill the king's will, immediately set out in search of any surviving descendant of Saul's family. He knew the mission was delicate, given the political instability and the risks involved, but his loyalty to David and the honor of Jonathan drove him to proceed. After days of relentless searching, Barmim received news that led him to a small city called Luzah. It was there that he found Mephibosheth, a young man who carried his family's legacy with dignity despite the adversities he faced. Mephibosheth, now in his formative years, lived a humble life, far from the luxuries and intrigues of the royal court, but always kept his father Jonathan and his friendship with David in his heart. When Barmim found Mephibosheth, the young man was engaged in his daily activities, dealing with the physical difficulties resulting from his accident. Despite his limitations, his demeanor reflected an inner strength that could not be measured solely by his physical condition. "I am Barmim, servant of King David," the messenger announced respectfully. "The king wishes to show mercy to Jonathan's family and honor his memory. You are a descendant of a noble lineage and deserve to be treated with the dignity your royal blood demands." Mephibosheth, surprised and moved by the visit, listened attentively as Barmim recounted David's desire to restore his position and offer him protection and honor. The news brought a mix of relief and hope to the young man, who lived under the shadow of loss and hardships. But why would King David do this? Mephibosheth asked, still trying to understand the depth of the offer. "Because the friendship and loyalty that Jonathan showed King David are invaluable," Barmim explained. "David wants to reward that friendship by ensuring you are treated with justice and generosity." With a light heart and a mind full of thoughts about the future, Mephibosheth accepted David's offer. He knew that this opportunity would not only honor his grandfather and father, but also restore his family's hope in a time of uncertainty. Barmim led Mephibosheth back to Jerusalem, where David awaited him personally. The reunion between the king and Mephibosheth was touching. David, recognizing the young man's dignity and strength, welcomed him with open arms, promising him protection, honor, and a place of respect in the new order he was establishing. The meeting with David marked the beginning of a new era for Mephibosheth. The mercy shown by the king not only restored his social position, but also brought the promise of a safer and more prosperous future. Mephibosheth, who had faced losses and challenges since childhood, now saw a light at the end of the tunnel, fueling his faith and hope. David, in turn, showed that his leadership was based on justice and compassion, values that strengthened the people's trust in his reign. Including Mephibosheth in the royal court symbolized the unification of old alliances and the renewal of bonds of friendship and loyalty essential for Israel's stability. The story of Mephibosheth's discovery by David is a powerful testimony of how kindness and justice can transform lives. It reminds us of the importance of honoring our roots and how true leadership manifests in the ability to extend a hand in times of need, providing not only protection but also dignity and hope to those who need it most. After David's generosity in restoring Mephibosheth and returning Saul's lands, a new phase of prosperity and recognition began in the young man's life. David, always attentive to his people's needs and driven by the desire to honor Jonathan's memory, wanted to ensure that Mephibosheth felt truly part of the royal family. On a radiant spring day, when flowers were blooming and the air was scented with jasmine and lilies, Jerusalem was preparing for a grand festival in honor of David. The streets were adorned with colorful flags and fine fabrics, and the sound of musicians playing harps and lyres echoed throughout the city. It was a celebration of victory and unity, where all the people of Israel gathered to celebrate the king's achievements. During the height of the festivities, David, sitting on his ornate throne in the palace's main hall, watched proudly the joy and harmony reigning in the kingdom. It was then that he decided to take an additional step to strengthen the bonds of loyalty and friendship that sustained his reign. With a determined look, he ordered his messenger to invite Mephibosheth to join the celebrations. "Barmim," David said with a warm smile, "bring Mephibosheth to the party. I want him to share this special moment with us." Barmim, already familiar with the importance of this invitation, immediately set out for Luzah, where Mephibosheth was adapting to his new life in Jerusalem. He knew that this visit would not only solidify Mephibosheth's position in the court, but also symbolize the continuation of the alliance between David and Saul's family. When Mephibosheth received the invitation to the party, a mix of emotions overwhelmed him. On one hand, there was joy and gratitude for being honored by David, a man he always admired and considered a friend of his family. On the other hand, there was a deep fear that his presence might be forgotten or that his position was fragile, given his family's tumultuous past. On the night of the party, Mephibosheth, accompanied by Barmim, arrived in Jerusalem. The palace was lit by thousands of torches, and the atmosphere was filled with laughter, music, and celebration. He wore his best clothes, courtesy of David, feeling more dignified and respected than ever. However, his heart still raced with apprehension about how he would be received. As he walked through the main hall, he noticed the curious and respectful glances of the guests. Some recognized Mephibosheth's lineage, while others saw him merely as a young man blessed by the king. Despite David's generosity, Mephibosheth couldn't shake the worry that, for some reason, he might be forgotten or marginalized. It was then that David, noticing the hesitation in Mephibosheth's eyes, approached him with a warm smile. "Mephibosheth," David said, extending his hand in a gesture of friendship, "I'm glad you can be here with us today. Your presence is an honor to me and to the entire kingdom." Mephibosheth, touched by David's kindness and sincerity, felt an immediate relief. "Thank you, my king," he replied softly. "Your generosity and friendship mean a lot to me and to my family." David guided Mephibosheth to the royal table, where there was an abundance of delicious food and fine drinks. The guests applauded discreetly as Mephibosheth approached, recognizing his dignity and the importance of his place in the court. David's gentleness and hospitality ensured that Mephibosheth felt truly welcome. As the night progressed, David assured Mephibosheth that he would always have a safe and respected place in the royal house. "You are part of our family now," David said firmly. "There is no reason to fear being forgotten. Your loyalty and courage are invaluable to me, and I will do everything in my power to ensure you are treated with the honor you deserve." Mephibosheth, relieved and grateful, felt a wave of hope and security. He knew that despite the tragedies he had faced, David was committed to protecting and supporting him. This promise from David not only reinforced his position in the court but also strengthened his spirit, preparing him to face any future challenges with renewed courage and faith. Mephibosheth's visit to the party in Jerusalem was a transformative moment in his life. Not only was he officially integrated into the royal family, but he also found a new sense of belonging and purpose. David's presence at the party and his words of encouragement helped Mephibosheth overcome his fears and fully embrace his role in the court. For David, this action reaffirmed his commitment to justice and mercy, values fundamental to his reign. By ensuring Mephibosheth's continued presence in the royal house, David demonstrated that his leadership was not only based on military strength but also on empathy and the ability to recognize and reward true loyalty. The interaction between David and Mephibosheth during the party symbolized the union of two important lineages and reinforced the stability of the kingdom of Israel. Mephibosheth's presence in the court served as a living reminder of the alliances formed through friendship and mutual respect, essential elements for the kingdom's ongoing prosperity. Mephibosheth's visit to Jerusalem is a powerful demonstration of how compassionate leadership and generosity can transform lives and strengthen communities. Through this event, we see the importance of honoring promises of friendship and loyalty, regardless of the adversities faced. For viewers, this story offers valuable lessons on the importance of empathy, justice, and inclusion. It reminds us that even in times of uncertainty and loss, kindness and compassion can create lasting bonds and provide hope and renewal to those who need it most. Leave a like if you are enjoying it, so YouTube continues to recommend videos like this and will be helping and motivating us to continue. We appreciate every second, and may God bless you. After the emotional restoration of the lands and the hospitality received at the king's table, Mephibosheth began to adapt to his new life in David's court. The move from Luzah to Jerusalem brought not only a safer environment but also a significant transformation in his daily routine and social status. David's court was a vibrant and lively place. Grand halls, decorated with colorful tapestries and fine furniture, reflected the kingdom's wealth and prosperity. The gardens were lush, with fruit trees and fragrant flowers, providing a peaceful refuge in the heart of the bustling city. Mephibosheth, though accustomed to comfort after his difficult childhood, still adjusted to the new amenities and responsibilities that came with his renewed position. Mephibosheth quickly became a respected presence in the court. He attended meetings and councils with David, offering his perspectives and learning about the complexities of governance. The court's diversity, composed of tribal leaders, wise counselors, and brave warriors, provided Mephibosheth with a rich experience of learning and personal growth. "Your presence here is a blessing, Mephibosheth," said one of David's counselors. "Your wisdom and experience are valuable to our kingdom." The relationship between Mephibosheth and David was deep and meaningful. David saw in him not only an heir of Saul's lineage but also a loyal friend who shared the same values of courage, justice, and compassion. They spent hours discussing strategies to strengthen Israel, sharing stories of past battles, and reflecting on future challenges. "King David," Mephibosheth said humbly, "it is an honor to serve you and learn from your exemplary leadership." David, in turn, valued Mephibosheth's opinion and often consulted him on important matters, recognizing his potential and the importance of his contribution to the kingdom. Mephibosheth did not just live in the court, he actively participated in the ceremonies and festivities that regularly took place. During victory celebrations, he was present, celebrating Israel's achievements and reinforcing the unity among the court members. His etiquette and diplomacy skills were honed as he interacted with nobles and leaders from different tribes. Life at the court provided Mephibosheth with countless opportunities to learn and grow. He received teachings on administration, diplomacy, and the art of war, essential knowledge for someone in his position. The court sages and teachers dedicated themselves to instructing him, ensuring he was well prepared for any future responsibilities. "Knowledge is the key to effective leadership," said one of the teachers. "Learn to listen, observe, and act with wisdom." In addition to his administrative duties, Mephibosheth was also involved in community initiatives. He organized events to improve the citizens' quality of life, such as building wells, creating schools, and promoting sustainable agricultural practices. His commitment to the people's well-being reflected the values David taught in the court. "We must care for one another and work together to build a prosperous and just Israel," Mephibosheth stated during a community meeting. In David's court, Mephibosheth was treated with the utmost respect and dignity. His position was recognized and valued, not only because of his lineage but also due to his personal qualities. Servants and nobles greeted him with reverence, and his opinions were heard and seriously considered. "It is a privilege to have Mephibosheth with us," said one of the nobles. "His presence enriches our court and strengthens our bonds of friendship." Mephibosheth received honors and rewards for his efforts and contributions to the court. Additional lands were granted to him, ensuring his security and prosperity. Gifts and tributes came from different parts of the kingdom, symbolizing gratitude and recognition of his important role in maintaining peace and justice. "You deserve all the blessings you receive, Mephibosheth," David said during a recognition ceremony. "Your loyal service and dedication to the kingdom are invaluable." Mephibosheth's presence in the court served as an inspiring example for other members of the kingdom. His story of resilience and overcoming, from his tragic childhood to his respected position in the royal court, motivated others to persevere in the face of adversity. He became a symbol of hope and a model of dignified and compassionate behavior. May Mephibosheth's story remind us that, with faith and determination, we can overcome any challenge, said a tribal leader during an assembly. Life in the royal court transformed Mephibosheth from a vulnerable orphan into a respected and influential leader. Living with David and the other court members not only enhanced his skills and knowledge, but also strengthened his character and faith. He learned the importance of justice, loyalty, and compassion, values that would guide his future actions. Active participation in court activities allowed Mephibosheth to develop essential leadership skills. He learned to make difficult decisions, mediate conflicts, and inspire trust in his people. These experiences prepared him to take on greater responsibilities in the future, whether as David's counselor or as a leader of his own family and land. Mephibosheth's faith was deeply strengthened during his time in the court. He witnessed David's acts of mercy and justice, which reinforced his own confidence in God and his plans for his life. Prayer and spiritual reflection became integral parts of his routine, guiding him in moments of doubt and uncertainty. Even in the darkest moments, faith illuminates and guides us, Mephibosheth reflected during a conversation with David. Mephibosheth's presence in the court also helped consolidate important alliances among Israel's different tribes. His royal lineage and relationship with David served as a unifying link, promoting cohesion and collaboration among tribal leaders. This contributed to the kingdom's ongoing stability and prosperity. "United we are stronger," David stated in a meeting with tribal leaders, with Mephibosheth by his side. Our strength lies in our unity and our common faith. Participation in the diversity of David's court marked a period of growth and transformation in Mephibosheth's life. He went from being a vulnerable young man to a respected leader, shaped by the values of justice, loyalty, and compassion taught by David. His story is a powerful lesson on how adversity can be overcome with faith, support, and determination, and how just and merciful leadership can transform lives and strengthen communities. For viewers, Mephibosheth's story in David's court offers valuable insights into the importance of resilience, education, and integrity in building a lasting legacy. It is an inspiring testimony of how kindness and justice can create unbreakable bonds and promote peace and prosperity in a kingdom. This narrative about Mephibosheth's participation in the diversity of David's court vividly illustrates how he integrated and contributed to royal court life. Through this story, viewers can emotionally connect with the characters and reflect on themes of leadership, justice, and the importance of faith and friendship in building a better future. Mephibosheth's story is a powerful testament to King David's mercy and generosity. When David decided to restore Saul's lands and honor Jonathan's memory, he was not only fulfilling a promise of friendship but also demonstrating a deep sense of justice and compassion. By returning the lands to Mephibosheth, David recognized the importance of honoring alliances and maintaining the trust he had built with Jonathan. This act of restoration not only ensured Mephibosheth's safety, but also sent a clear message that loyalty and true friendship would be rewarded. David's generosity reflected his compassionate leadership, where strength was not only in military conquests, but also in the ability to show kindness and mercy. The relationship between David and Mephibosheth exemplifies how true loyalty and friendship can transcend adversities. Even after the tragic deaths of Saul and Jonathan, David maintained his commitment to protect and honor his loyal friend's family. This attitude strengthened mutual trust and respect, demonstrating that true friendship is unwavering, even in times of crisis and change. David's action inspired others to follow his example of mercy and loyalty. David's court, seeing the king's generosity, began to value the principles of justice and compassion even more. Mephibosheth, now integrated into the court, became a living symbol of these virtues, encouraging others to act with kindness and integrity in their own lives. In addition to his historical and social role, some scholars see Mephibosheth as a figure that prefigures the Messiah, reflecting themes of restoration and divine grace present in biblical tradition. Mephibosheth, who suffered losses and adversities from childhood, found redemption and restoration through David's mercy. This aspect of his story resonates with the messianic narrative, where the Messiah is seen as one who brings salvation, restoration, and grace to humanity. Through his journey, Mephibosheth personifies the hope for renewal and divine intervention in times of need. David's act of restoring the lands and honoring Mephibosheth can be interpreted as a symbol of the messianic promise to restore Israel and bring justice and peace. Mephibosheth, by being welcomed and honored in the court, represents the inclusion and reconciliation that the Messiah would bring, uniting different factions and bringing harmony to the kingdom. For those who interpret the Bible from a Christian perspective, Mephibosheth can be seen as a precursor to Jesus Christ. Both faced adversities and demonstrated compassion and forgiveness in their journeys. Mephibosheth's story, like Jesus's, is marked by acts of mercy that transformed lives and strengthened the faith of those around him. Mephibosheth's legacy continues to inspire generations, highlighting the importance of kindness, justice, and faith. His story is remembered not only as a tale of honor and restoration, but also as an example of how divine intervention can bring hope and transformation, even in the darkest situations. Mephibosheth's story serves as a source of inspiration for many, demonstrating that even those who face great challenges can find redemption and prosperity through faith and the kindness of others. His life in David's court shows that acts of mercy have the power to transform not only an individual's life, but also an entire community. Mephibosheth's example encourages individuals to value loyalty, true friendship, and compassion. In a world where justice and generosity are often forgotten, Mephibosheth's story reminds us of the importance of acting with kindness and honoring those who are loyal to us. In addition to his personal and social influence, Mephibosheth left a lasting spiritual legacy. His story is often used in sermons and Bible studies to illustrate the importance of mercy and redemption. Culturally, he has become a symbol of hope and renewal, representing the ability to overcome adversities with divine help and human solidarity. Mephibosheth's story is a powerful narrative of loss, resilience, mercy, and true friendship. His journey from tragedy to restoration in David's court exemplifies the best values of leadership and humanity. Moreover, his role as a messianic precursor adds a profound layer of spiritual meaning, connecting his story to the larger themes of redemption and divine grace present in biblical tradition. For viewers, Mephibosheth's life offers valuable lessons on the importance of compassion, justice, and fidelity. It is a reminder that even in the most challenging situations, kindness and faith can bring hope and transformation, creating a legacy that endures through generations. Mephibosheth was born into a royal family, being the son of Jonathan and the grandson of King Saul. Growing up in Saul's court, he learned early on the values of courage, loyalty, and justice. His friendship with David, a young shepherd who would become king, further strengthened these principles. At the age of 5, Mephibosheth faced a tragedy, the death of his father Jonathan and his grandfather Saul during a battle against the Philistines. In addition to the painful loss, he suffered an accident that left him with a limp, making his childhood even more challenging. To protect him from possible vengeance against Saul's lineage, a faithful servant led him to Gath, where he lived in exile. In Gath, Mephibosheth lived away from the royal court, facing loneliness and uncertainty. Even so, he kept his family's memory alive through the stories and teachings he received, demonstrating admirable inner strength. Driven by the desire to honor Jonathan's memory, King David sent his servant Barmim in search of descendants of Saul's family. In Gath, Barmim found Mephibosheth and reported his condition to David. Recognizing the young man's dignity and courage, David decided to restore his position, returning Saul's lands to him and ensuring him a place of honor in the royal court. David returned the lands to Mephibosheth, ensuring his economic and social security. Additionally, he invited him to dine at the royal table, symbolizing his full acceptance into the royal family. Mephibosheth began to live comfortably in David's presence, actively participating in court activities and being treated with respect and dignity. During a grand festival in Jerusalem, David personally invited Mephibosheth to celebrate alongside the kingdom. Initially, Mephibosheth feared being forgotten, but David's sincerity and generosity ensured him a continuous place in the royal house. This gesture reinforced his confidence and sense of belonging, strengthening his faith and hope for the future. Integrated into the royal court, Mephibosheth actively participated in decisions and activities, interacting with tribal leaders, wise counselors, and valiant warriors. He contributed to the kingdom's prosperity by organizing community projects and promoting sustainable practices. His presence served as an example of loyalty and resilience, inspiring other court members to act with justice and compassion. Mephibosheth's story exemplifies David's mercy and the importance of true loyalty. Even after facing devastating losses, Mephibosheth maintained his dignity and faith, finding redemption through David's generosity. His journey shows how acts of kindness and justice can transform lives and strengthen alliances. Some scholars view Mephibosheth as a figure who prefigures the Messiah, symbolizing restoration and divine grace. His inclusion in the royal court through David's mercy reflects themes of redemption and reconciliation present in messianic tradition, highlighting divine intervention in times of need. Mephibosheth was born into a royal family, being the son of Jonathan and the grandson of King Saul. His childhood in Saul's court and his friendship with David shaped his values of courage and loyalty. At the age of 5, he faced the tragic loss of his father and grandfather during a battle, in addition to an accident that left him with a limp. To protect him, he was led to Gath, where he lived in exile. Driven by David's desire to honor Jonathan, Mephibosheth was found by Barmim in Gath. David restored his lands and integrated him into the royal court, inviting him to dine at the king's table. During a festival in Jerusalem, Mephibosheth overcame his fears and reaffirmed his place in the royal family. In court, he stood out as an example of loyalty and resilience, contributing to the kingdom's prosperity and inspiring others with his story of overcoming and faith. Mephibosheth's story teaches us about the importance of resilience in the face of adversity. Even when facing seemingly insurmountable losses and challenges, faith and loyalty can guide us towards paths of restoration and hope. Mephibosheth demonstrated that dignity and courage can flourish even in the most difficult circumstances. Mephibosheth faced devastating losses and physical challenges from a young age, but his resilience and determination allowed him to overcome these adversities. His ability to maintain faith and hope, even in moments of great pain, serves as an inspiring example for all of us. The friendship between David and Jonathan, and later between David and Mephibosheth, highlights the importance of cultivating relationships based on loyalty and trust. These true connections are fundamental in supporting us during difficult times and in helping us achieve our goals. David exemplified how true leadership should be based on mercy and justice. His willingness to restore Mephibosheth and treat him with dignity demonstrates that a compassionate leader promotes justice and equality, creating an environment where trust and loyalty flourish. Mephibosheth's journey is a testament to the importance of faith and hope. Even amidst great losses and challenges, Mephibosheth maintained his faith, believing that better days would come. This hope sustained him during exile and prepared him to accept the blessings David bestowed upon him. Mephibosheth's legacy endures as an example of kindness, justice, and loyalty. His story is remembered as a lesson on how mercy can transform lives and how loyalty can strengthen alliances. For today's leaders, Mephibosheth's story serves as a model of how to lead with compassion and integrity. Mephibosheth's journey is a message of hope for all of us. Even when facing insurmountable adversities, there is always the possibility of redemption and renewal through faith, determination, and the support of just and compassionate people. His story reminds us that with courage and resilience, we can overcome any obstacle and build a legacy of kindness and integrity. Mephibosheth's story is a powerful narrative of resilience, faith, true friendship, and compassionate leadership. From his noble origin and the tragedy that marked his childhood to his restoration and integration into King David's royal court, Mephibosheth exemplifies how dignity and courage can flourish even in the most challenging circumstances. Mephibosheth faced devastating losses and physical challenges from a very young age, but his resilience and determination allowed him to overcome these adversities. His ability to maintain faith and hope, even in moments of great pain and uncertainty, serves as an inspiring example for all of us. In our own lives, we can draw inspiration from Mephibosheth's strength to face and overcome the obstacles we encounter. The friendship between David and Jonathan, and later between David and Mephibosheth, underscores the importance of cultivating relationships based on loyalty and trust. These true friendships are essential in supporting us during difficult times and in helping us achieve our goals. David's generosity in honoring Mephibosheth shows how acts of kindness and loyalty can transform lives and strengthen communities. David exemplified how true leadership should be based on mercy and justice. His willingness to restore Mephibosheth and treat the young man with dignity and respect demonstrates that a compassionate leader not only protects his people but also promotes justice and equality. This approach to leadership creates an environment where trust and loyalty flourish, contributing to the kingdom's stability and prosperity. Mephibosheth's journey is a testament to the importance of faith and hope. Even amidst great losses and challenges, Mephibosheth maintained his faith, believing that better days would come. This hope sustained him during exile and prepared him to accept the blessings David bestowed upon him. For us, Mephibosheth's story reminds us that even in the darkest moments, faith can guide us and hope can give us the strength to move forward. Mephibosheth's transformation from a vulnerable young man to a respected leader in the royal court inspires us to believe in the power of change and redemption. His dedication to contributing to the kingdom's well-being demonstrates how our individual actions can positively impact the community around us. He shows us that, regardless of circumstances, we can grow and develop when we receive support and appropriate opportunities. Mephibosheth's legacy endures as an example of kindness, justice, and loyalty. His story is often remembered in sermons and Bible studies as a lesson on how mercy can transform lives and how loyalty can strengthen alliances. For today's leaders, Mephibosheth's story serves as a model of how to lead with compassion and integrity, inspiring us to act with justice and to value human relationships. Mephibosheth's journey is a message of hope for all of us. Even when we face insurmountable adversities, there is always the possibility of redemption and renewal through faith, determination, and the support of just and compassionate people. His story reminds us that with courage and resilience, we can overcome any obstacle and build a legacy of kindness and integrity. Mephibosheth's story inspires us to value resilience, loyalty, and compassion in our own lives. It shows us that even in the most challenging situations, faith and generosity can guide us toward a future of hope and prosperity. Thank you for watching until here, and don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to see more content like this and inspiring, motivational, and interesting stories. Until next time.